The first time Cynthia Brewer made her move, it was with a clipboard and a scowl. At exactly 6:42 p.m., she filed a formal HOA complaint against my house for suspicious activity. What she didn't know, what she couldn't have known, was that she had just officially documented a barbecue full of off-duty homicide detectives, including 2 who had once brought down a corrupt state senator and 1 who could tell a lie faster than a polygraph machine. Me? I'm just the new guy on Cypress Hollow Lane. A recently retired detective with a penchant for marinated ribs and a playlist of Motown that's just loud enough to keep squirrels on their toes. All I wanted was to host a simple backyard barbecue. Nothing wild, no kegs, no loud music, no fireworks. Just a relaxed evening with old colleagues and a few cold drinks. It was my first Saturday in the neighborhood, and if I had known how things would spiral, I would have served decaf and salad. From my cedar fence, brand new and HOA-approved, I first spotted Cynthia. She was standing by her hedge, dressed like she was casing a bank, sunglasses on at dusk, lips so tight they could crack a jawbreaker. Clutched in her hand was what looked like a hummingbird feeder. It wasn't. It was a disguised camera lens. She didn't wave, didn't blink, just wrote furiously on her clipboard as if each grilled veggie skewer was an offense to suburban tranquility. 10 minutes later, I got a knock, not a ring, but a sharp, deliberate knock. The kind that doesn't request a conversation but announces war. Still wearing my Kiss the Cook apron, I opened the door. There she stood, Cynthia Brewer, queen of the HOA, dressed like a tennis coach who lost her racket but kept the attitude. I just want to remind you, she began, oh hello, no small talk, that Cypress Hollow has noise ordinances and strict parking policies. I counted 6 cars, one of which is blocking my mailbox. Her mailbox sat at the end of a completely empty curb. I smiled like a kindergarten teacher suppressing chaos. They're just friends, I said. Off-duty cops, actually. The moment I said cops, her posture shifted. Just a flicker, but I noticed. A twitch in her stance, a hesitation in her breath. Oh well, she muttered, it's still against policy to have that many vehicles. It disrupts the aesthetic harmony of the street. From the fence, my Kia 20-year homicide detective with a Hawaiian shirt and the patience of a monk grinned. Cynthia, he called, I am the aesthetic harmony. She left in a huff, clipboard clutched like a holy book, her eyes scanning my guests like they were running a smuggling ring. I thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. 20 minutes later, an email hit my inbox. Subject, Community Disturbance Report. It was from the HOA board. Or so it appeared. The wording was vague but loaded, referring to a gathering of unknown individuals, possible violations of security policies, and failure to comply with community standards. I showed it to Tina, a former colleague and the best lie detector on 2 legs. She laughed so hard beer came out of her nose. She thinks you're harboring criminals, she said. Oh, that's rich. She called me a potential security threat, I said. And CC'd the entire HOA board, she added, eyes narrowing. That's when the mood shifted. What started as a backyard reunion turned into something else, something sharper. Daryl, our instincts guy, started noticing things. The hummingbird feeder wasn't her only camera. She had a full surveillance setup. Raj, our tech wizard, dove into the email metadata and found out something bigger. Cynthia wasn't just a board member. She was the only one with access to the HOA communication system. She controlled it. All of it. She made herself indispensable by being impossible, Mike muttered, sipping sweet tea. Dictator with a rulebook. She rewrote half the bylaws last month without a vote, Raj added, showing us a side-by-side comparison from the HOA's digital archive. The grill kept going. So did the investigation. We spoke in low tones over burgers and chips. Daryl passed the ketchup. She's abusing neighborhood surveillance. Tina nodded. Bet she's got files on everyone. By sundown, we had a working theory and a loose timeline. Cynthia Brewer's reign over Cypress Hollow wasn't just annoying. It was manipulative, calculated, and possibly illegal. She'd find elderly neighbors for late recycling, threaten dog owners over leash lengths, and even cited someone for planting sunflowers outside of floral intent. But she hadn't dealt with people like us before. We never really clocked out. Sunday morning, I sat on the porch with coffee in one hand and the HOA handbook in the other. Tina joined me, still in her hoodie from the night before, and dropped a manila folder onto the table. Screenshots, she said. 3 Facebook accounts, 1 fake neighborhood watch group, and a PayPal account connected to the HOA email. She's laundering influence, I muttered, flipping through photos of Cynthia at every board meeting for the past 2 years. Different neck scarves. Same smug smile. Mike showed up with donuts and intel. She's got a storage shed in her backyard, full of file boxes. I saw labels. Daryl rolled in with a grimace. Solar cameras. 4. Hidden in the eaves. Not just front yard stuff. Full street coverage. Raj printed a spreadsheet and laid it out. 18 months of financial discrepancies in HOA funds. No records of approved projects. Funds disappearing under Cynthia's direct oversight as treasurer and secretary. She's siphoning money, Raj said. By noon, we had a plan. Not breaking laws. Not breaching anything. Just observing. Watching. Documenting. We tracked her scheduled morning jog at 6 a.m., HOA emails at 7:30, surveillance walks at 10, and gardening patrols in the afternoon. Raj even built an app to log her movements. By Wednesday, we had enough data to predict her steps. What we also found. Stories. Neighbors opened up once we knocked with cheerful smiles and brooms for the HOA's spring beautification campaign. A single mom fined for leaving her trash bin out too long. An elderly widow threatened over a lawn gnome. A retired vet denied a permit for a small flagpole. Systematic. Intimidating. Targeted. Tina got access to the HOA storage unit behind the rec center. She found receipts, reimbursements, and payments to a landscaping company that didn't exist. One check was made to KCS Management Cynthia's initials and linked to her Venmo. Meanwhile, Raj confirmed that her camera setup was illegal long-range Wi-Fi extenders, motion-activated audio feeds, and private server storage. It wasn't just creepy. It was a surveillance violation. Then came the shed. Mike and I waited for a windy afternoon. Gloves on, we slipped behind her fence and confirmed what we suspected, a catalog of every neighbor, including annotated files, background checks, and printed social media posts. She had highlighted an old Facebook post of mine and scrawled "habitual violator" in red ink. That night, we stopped joking. It wasn't funny anymore. We were staring at a map of fear, control, and embezzlement. We planned a neighborhood meeting, officially a volunteer appreciation dinner. But unofficially? An intervention. We sent invites. Cynthia showed up late, radiant in pearls and thinly veiled contempt. I stood. Cynthia, I began, can you tell us what KCS management is? She froze, then smiled. A clerical error. Tina held up a printed transaction. Then why is it linked to your personal account? Mike slid a folder across the table. Photos. Invoices. Proof. Raj, calm as ever, delivered the final blow. Your surveillance system is operating illegally. Her voice cracked. You people don't understand what it takes to maintain order. But we do, I said. That's the problem. She left in silence. 2 days later, the board held an emergency vote. With overwhelming support, she was removed. No screaming. No courtroom. Just silence and a spreadsheet. The final act? A community party. Lemonade stands. Jazz trio. Grilled ribs. And a slideshow featuring everything beautiful about the neighborhood minus Cynthia. She arrived halfway through, folder in hand, eyes searching for support that wasn't there. When she tried to assert authority, Raj said it best. You're no longer a board member. Tina handed her a copy of the vote. You were removed, she said gently. Because this neighborhood deserves better. Cynthia looked around. No allies. No defenders. Only silence. Then she turned and left. Not fast. Not slow. Just gone. A moving truck appeared the next week. No goodbye. No message. Just boxes and a for sale sign. We heard she took a job managing compliance at a condo development in Florida. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. And Cypress Hollow? It changed. We talked more. Kids played longer. The next HOA meeting was held in my backyard with open seating and a suggestion box shaped like a gnome. And the kicker? Mike bought Cynthia's old house. Got a great deal too. He said he liked the view. And the peace. Cynthia had called the HOA on my guests, thinking she was protecting her turf. She didn't know they were detectives. She didn't know I was patient. And she didn't know that justice, the kind that sticks, doesn't always come with handcuffs. Sometimes it comes with pulled pork and receipts.